Hello, how you doing? Good evening for me, good morning, good whatever it is for you, wherever you are. Hi, I'm Yalek, and we're going to be doing a Fat Fingers video here today. Fat Fingers, for most of you who know this, is a 5-man task force in Boom Beach. Currently we are sitting, we're sitting at number 11 on the leaderboard, which to my recollection is the highest position we've been in on this current push. I have never seen us, on this push, I've not seen us higher than 12. We're sitting at 11 here, and that's interesting because this operation started a couple of hours ago, so nobody noted where we were at the finish of our last operation. We could have been even higher. Possibly we even broke top 10 and did not know it because, well, actually this op started late because nobody was paying attention at the time, which is unfortunate. But anyway, so I have been waiting to do a video for us for a couple of days. Was hoping to have a day like we had, well, today started well and is looking good. Yesterday, not the best day, to be honest. We need to do a little better than that, but it just, things didn't work out. But this day here, we had 5 blue lines, and we're going to look at that operation because that's 5 solos. Some better than others, actually. I've done Waterloo, Waterloo on this operation that we're going to watch. I did Waterloo on the operation before, if I'm not mistaken, and that was a really nice Waterloo. I did Waterloo on the op that we just finished. That was a very nice Waterloo. And on this operation, you're going to watch me do a really shitty Waterloo, which is, whatever. Anyway, it'll be worth the laugh. But also have been waiting or hoping to be able to do a video because the operation before that would be this 976 here. There is a really cool Machina hit franchise did, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've seen it before, and very out of the box. And looking at the hit in the normal ways, I was skeptical. It didn't look like it was going to be certainly not easy, maybe not possible, but he's got this other way of doing it, which we're gonna have to watch that. Anyway, so how do we want to start this? I mean, we can just lead with the jokes and do this Waterloo here. Yeah, what the hell, whatever, have a laugh. Anyway, I lost 75 Zookas on this hit. The Bombardiers don't count because I was planning on sacrificing them, but as for the Zookas, well, I had planned for things to go better than they did. We seem to go in ruts sometimes. Let's see, this Waterloo is 1.2, 1.4 plus a little bit of change, so not high health, which was one of the reasons that I decided, when I can do this and sacrifice a boat of Bombardiers in order to get GBE, I do, especially when the health on a base is not insanely high, so that you can afford to sacrifice a boat of Zookas. You don't need mega damage for this. So this, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 shocks. Looks a little bit maybe more intimidating than some Waterloos do, just because, it's like some extra rockets over here. You might have to start smoking a little bit early on the beach. I have 5 GBE, so I decided to, farm a bunch of this stuff to account for that. Other than that, it's actually very standard. The 4 shocks, not a big deal, but just there are a little different. That's one thing with Waterloo. The number of shocks, if it gets to 5, you've got to rethink how you're going to attack the base. 4 is normal, but where they can land can vary greatly. So it's not like Callisto tends to have very, very standard shocks on it. They never really change and so on. So anyway, here it was just 4 shocks, but they were not It's always just a little bit different. And I happen to miss this machine gun, so that was really, really not ideal. And otherwise, this base would have gone down nice and cleanly. But as it turns out, I'm left with, you know, this bare bones contingent of Zookas because, well, you know, you miss a machine gun right next to your parking spot. All else, you know, all else in that hit mostly is fine, more or less. But yeah, that was dumb. Anyway, so this is a franchise on the 298 base. I think that was the 226. Is that correct? Yeah. Franchise 298 was an orbifold, which was, I mean, this is about as big of an orbifold as you will ever see. When you get to an orbifold that has cells here in this middle area, they never get any bigger than that. So this is 2 million, 2.2 plus another half, so like 2.3, 2.4 million on this guy. And that's a lot. But then again, depending on where you park here, obviously he's chosen this 5 o'clock spot. That's where I would have chosen too. Shocks aren't too bad. These guys won't range you over there, so one shock up top on this stuff, one shock on these machine guns, shock here, these guys won't range you, so just 4 shocks. So, I mean, on the one hand, this is as nasty of an orbifold as you can ever see. I've seen, well, no, I can't even say that. Like, when you start seeing cells in the middle area, that's where they're trying to pack in extra defenses and so on this base. That's about all you're ever going to see from an orbifold. And as far as health goes, I've killed a couple that were like 2 million or so, but again, this is the orbifold that they warned you about, I suppose. Fairly standard, to be honest, just huge health. 4 shocks, I think we said, yes. 1 machine guns first, and then using every bit of the delay over here. Oh yeah, I remember, he said afterwards he had, he clicked the first 3 shocks, and then this 4th one, it took a while to get down, and it's just like he was, you know, sometimes you're tapping on your screen and things don't register, so he was trying to land that shock, and he made a comment in chat about it. Everything else was, you know, perfectly well timed. That last shock, I was watching this one live as it happened, and I was like, wait, where's that 4th shock? Like, wait, what's happening? And he got it down because he had the delay on that rocket launcher, so you've got an extra, like 4 seconds or something, so he had the time to, you know, land that and make sure that it got down. So, what did we say, 2.3, 2.4 million on that son of a bitch? That's a pretty healthy orbifold. Anyway, Ballast, 190. Ballast, I love Ballast. Dot here, Dot what, has chosen, I didn't get to see this one live, but I was watching the replay after, and I had my screen focused, we'll speed that up a little bit, had my screen focused over here because I was waiting for him to start landing troops. He killed the 1 set of mines. If you're doing this properly, you just need to kill 1 artillery, remove 3 mines right here that are going to be in your path, because you're going to walk between those top 2 boom cannons. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. So then I was just like watching, and nothing was happening as I was watching this replay, and I was like, what the... So I didn't realize that he had chucked critters up here to start the hit, and he's just trying to pick up a little bit of extra GBE. Critters, that first box of critters is going to cost you 8 GBE, so he is currently, with the 3 towers, the 3 cells that he's killed over here, he has 9. Looks like he's headed towards another cell here. That'll give him 12 GBE, so he'll net just a little bit of GBE for this hit, which he's going to want because there was a hot beach down here, and I missed his landing while I was talking about the critters. But yeah, very, very hot beach because of these rocket launchers, so extra smokes required. So a little bit of extra GBE is nice. He has, in the meantime, walked himself, while I was talking about critters, he's walked himself completely up here to his kill zone, and it looks like from here he has 3 shocks. That's pretty normal for this base. Health, That is about as healthy as you'll ever see for a ballast. I'm not gonna lie there. 1.2, 1.4, like 1.5 and a half or something million health on that. And again, like you're seeing here, like the biggest version of this base that you will ever see. Have I ever seen a ballast that was more than a 190 force points? I don't know that I have, to be honest. And again, with the Orbifold, the 298 there with the extra cells in the middle. Like, yeah, this is a pretty standard op. And I mean, I was hoping for the opportunity to make a video, but this op by itself is, you know, I mean, there's nothing insanely off the charts here or anything like that, except that, you know, some of these are actually, you'll never see a bigger, what was that? Quantum? No, not quantum. Ballast. You won't see a bigger ballast than I need to. Oh, son of a bitch, I missed that. So, this is Sven. Sven's linking on Quantum. I'm looking at Quantum, that's why I was thinking Quantum. And he started out this base. I've been watching him do this base for years, and he likes to take advantage of the farming situation over here. I will do the same often, but I will do the farming with bombardiers. Sven chose to land half of his Zukas, and he got, again, I didn't see this one live, but I watched the replay, and I was watching this particular rocket launcher because, I mean, there's not a lot of leeway there. He had his girls, like, they were standing in rocket launcher range and still firing on the cells. And that sucker swiveled around, and he flared, like, at the perfect time to keep them from, like, he used every bit of the delay just to get a little bit more GBE. And, yeah, that was, also, this is incredibly weird. This is not a path that anyone ever takes on Quantum, ever. So, again, with the, you know, you're seeing all of these bases, they're standard bases, except they're not exactly. Like, there's something in the level of difficulty upped in every single one of them. Yeah, but, like, and I missed that moment over here. Again, I was talking too much, most likely. But when I watched the replay the first time, I was like, I saw the rocket turn, and I'm like, wait, what? What are you, wait, you know. Yeah, he knew what he was doing, obviously. Yeah, but, just like he was really, really dancing in the fire on that one. Health on this is really not going to be high. It's a 155, so 381. We're like under a million total there. But the timing on that was actually really, really impressive. Not all of that. Like, that's Sven. Sven knows what he's doing. But the timing on that down here, the farming, and then when he turned around, decided it was enough farming, and got away from the rocket launcher, let the rocket see him, and then got his girls out of there. That was pretty smooth. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty impressed. Here we have Argus on Tapir, and this was again, very low building health. It's only the 119. We had some shield bases on this operation, so this is a situation where you take what you can get. I might have done this differently. I would prefer not to park next to 10 million flamethrowers like he's going to do here. I probably would have attacked this from 1 o'clock up here, standing next to those mortars. 3 shocks. I would have been more comfortable with that myself, personally. He chooses to take the, and again, probably a question of comfortability, like on a personal level, but he chooses to take the standard parking spot, so that's 7 o'clock there, and he just uses more shocks, and just decides that he's going, again, dancing with the devil. He's just going to park next to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 flamethrowers, and a machine gun in play, and rocket launchers as well. So, I mean, it's a ballsy move, I'm not gonna lie. Not that the shocks aren't hard or anything like that, just if I could have chosen to park away from flamethrowers, which in this case you could do, I would have always chosen to park away from flamethrowers because, you know, fuck flamethrowers. So I liked that. It was a bit of a gutsy play there. Finally, so that was a 5 blue lines operation. It wasn't a max force points operation. We haven't had one of those in a bit. Well, actually, this 11 days and 4 hours ago, that 11:36, we had max force points that day, and we were even able to sabotage. So we got some extra force points out of that operation. Haven't had one of a day like that similarly in the last, well, 11 days. But so yeah, going back to this day with the 976 and this Machina, franchise on Machina, and I really want to show this because this was a cool hit. Now, I love Machina. Health on this guy, hang on, let's turn that down to the lowest speed possible. 910, so 1.82, just over 2 million health on this core. And that is really, I have 6 damage on my account. That's very easy to do. And I would have preferred to use bullet because that's like the safest and easiest method to attack this base, except this particular version of Machina happens to have a shock blaster over here, and that's bad because shock blasters destroy bullet, and at the same time they also mess with his taunt ability so that you can't activate it at the times that you want to. And there's one there and there's also one here, and both of those would range bullet. The usual spot where he would be standing would be like just at the lowest corner of the core right there. If you see next to this particular mine, he would be just to the right of that, like at the point of the bottom point of the core there. Both of those blasters range him. That's bad. And if you wanted to do this in the traditional way using brick, let's see, you've got a shock here. Oh, and also if you're using the bullet method, you've got these extra mortars over here too. Usually those are not mortars. Usually they're something more like boom cannons, like these guys next to them. Mortars complicate that situation because neither one of them looks like... This one might be taunted by bullet if he's standing in his usual spot, if you choose to do the hit that way. This one will definitely not be, and it's questionable. Like, will it go after bullet? Will it go after the Zookas? So that's a problem too. The blasters are a huge problem. If you choose brick, as I said, you need a shock on that stuff. You need a shock on this stuff. You need a shock on that mortar. You need to shock this stuff over here, especially these 2 rocket launchers. You need to shock this flamethrower, and that blaster. And then you have a shock up here on this shock launcher. That's way too many shocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shocks. After clearing mines, it never happens. It will never ever happen on Machina. Even if you were able to farm, like there's usually some farming potential on Machina over here. Even if you were able to farm, you're not going to have 6 shocks. So then you're in a situation, and me thinking about this in like the traditional ways that I've seen this base attacked, I'm thinking like, okay, 4 shocks and a couple of critters and something like that. Because if you're not going to have the GBE for the shocks, then you need to buy time. So Fran goes ahead and attacks this. He has brick, and he does this in a way that I've just not seen. It blew my mind. I love this. Probably a thing going back to like the old days before bullet even, existed in Boom Beach. But so you notice here that he just flared this sniper tower, which is what you would normally do if you had private bullet. That's the first step for when you land on the beach. You flared this thing, and that's how you do the bullet wrap on this base. But he doesn't have bullet, he has brick. However, the Zookas will still do their normal wrap thing. Yeah, just watch. It's very, very interesting. I'm actually going to slow this down to... He's smoked a little bit differently so that he's accounting for the fact... I'm going to slow this down to half time right there. So he's thrown a critter over here. He's... four shocks. That critter is absorbing fire from the blaster. He smoked a little bit differently to account for that. His girls are all parked over here. They have Brick's battle orders. They're crushing the core. He didn't even have to bother with this, shocking this shock launcher here, because his girls are all packed around it because they were originally attacking this sniper tower. So he had a shock on these two machine guns. Again, with the ballsy moves, he's parking on top of two machine guns. So that shock got these two machine guns and these two mortars, so that was a very nice shock. Shock back here, shock over here on the rocket launchers, shock over here on the rocket launcher. And since he threw his smokes in that particular way, one over here and then one back here to cover his girls, he threw critters into the first smoke here. And so the blaster focused on the critters, not on the Zookas. So a brick wrap on Machina. 2 million Machina. That was really cool. I liked that hit. That shit. I want to see more of that shit. Anyway, yeah, so saw that, was pretty impressed, was waiting for a day, which, you know, we've had some pretty good days here recently, not gonna lie. But was waiting for a day where we could show off a little bit and I could work that hit in as well. Today, looks pretty standard, one-shot complex. Not that I'm going to do it, because I still don't do complex here, but yeah, cool. 2 if you want to be extra safe over there. Not even all that high health. And we've got a couple guys here who are baller at complex, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'll probably get Waterloo yet again. Titanic. Well, we don't have the time. We're over 20 minutes anyway. But we've already got a 262 down, and everything else about today looks quite nice to me. Tarsier is the 155 here. And unless it's insane, it is not insane. Yeah, looking like a good day. Hey, maybe I'll actually get to do another one of these videos in short order. But if I don't, anyway, have been looking forward to this, enjoying where we are. Again, still, sitting at number 11, actually, like, we haven't had spectacular results recently, but somehow still we're sitting at number 11 and could have been even higher, which might even have been the highest that we've been on this particular push. In terms of, like, leaderboard, not in terms of force points. Force points, we hit 1,800 at one point, but, like, yeah, I don't know. It's still fun and it's still interesting, so we are still keeping at it. And that, you know, as simple of an operation as that was a very interesting day to cover. So anyway, if you found it interesting, you can like. If you found it uninteresting, you can unlike. But yeah, we don't really care about that around here. Thumbs up, whatever. I will catch you guys later. Take care. Have a great night. Or morning. Or whatever it is. Wherever you are.